To the surprise of no one, and disappointment to a great many, 2025's Comic-Con Capcom panel has announced a myriad of new games. Monster Hunter and Resident Evil were chief amongst them. And what, pray tell, was missing from this event? Capcom has kicked us in the emotional balls once again. There's been plenty of hype leading up to the announcements. A lot of us DMC fans have been circling the news outlets for any indication we'd be getting something new. What with the Netflix show drawing new crowds to the game, pushing sales of DMC5 over 10 million copies. Given my utter disdain for that show, I'ma just ignore all that and move along. Here, have some lady from the Madhouse anime. She's way more pleasant and doesn't need to cuss 3 times per sentence to feel threatening. There was a discussion on Monster Hunter Stories 3. I admit I have never played Monster Hunter. Some friends of mine have recommended it, it's just not at the top of my to-do list. What I have heard is that Monster Hunter Wilds received backlash aplenty for piss-poor performances, especially on the PC release, which if you know gamers, they take their PC versions very seriously. If I'm gonna drop a few grand on a gaming computer, I want to get my money's worth. Again, I never played, so I can't attest. Why I find this extremely frustrating is, we're visibly watching a game get panned, and still it receives attention on this level, whereas Devil May Cry, a franchise with much renewed interest, does not. Mobile games don't count, let's not go there. There's also new stuff on Onimusha and Pragmata, but more importantly, Resident Evil. Fuck my life. Between Requiem dropping early next year and the decent success of the remakes, Capcom's been treating the series as their golden child, while many others are left to drown. I've played a few Resident Evil games. Biohazard was the latest in the series. I get it, I do. There's 100 different titles in the franchise to play with, and the lineup is growing larger year by year. But hot damn, man, it's disappointing all the same. Devil May Cry may not be the most prolific of their IPs. That doesn't mean it's hurting for potential. Think about it like this, because there's some who might argue the series has run its course. 5 was a decent send-off if they chose to go that route. But the first game was built off of a Resident Evil title. It was the early 2000s, and needless to say, the graphics and dialogue left much to be desired. Devil May Cry 2 is a Schrodinger's cat of games. It does not exist in my reality unless it's directly observed. And if it is, then it doesn't exist again, as it should be. 3 is what really concreted what Devil May Cry would be, from the tone to the mechanics. It established Dante and Virgil, 2 characters worthy of holding up the title with their sheer aura of badassery. This channel has already given them their own dedicated videos discussing why. Devil May Cry 4 was an incomplete product. Seriously, the last section playing as Dante, we were just retracing Nero's path from earlier. It's stupid and frustrating, and the series deserved better than this. Again, 5 was awesome, no complaints, except we needed more Lady and Trish. Because reasons. You see what I'm getting at? 3 of the 5 main Devil May Cry titles are either inadequate or incomplete products. Only 3 and 5 stand as full games, and both demonstrate what Devil May Cry is capable of delivering. Imagine what a few more games with similar tender love and care could do. Remakes of 1 and 2 would be magnificent starts. We could undo the abominable mistake that was,
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
Although that little number will haunt us until the heat death of the universe. And just imagine a Devil May Cry 2, with properly balanced gameplay and Dante acting like, Dante. Not this.
You called?
And back to the Netflix slop for a moment. While I have almost nothing positive to say about Adi's shit show, it did draw new crowds to Devil May Cry. Capcom really needs to capitalize on that while the fire's still hot. Because based off of reactions to the Season 2 trailer, people are so mean, I love you bastards. Yeah, it's not looking good. Adi's shit show may crash and burn after Season 2. Especially right now, with Netflix hemorrhaging subscribers like peasants fleeing Soviet Russia. The only people left either have no clue how bad things are, or there's a literal gun at their head. Netflix can't afford any more controversy. If Season 2 goes as bad as initial reactions indicate, that can also crush any hype for the game franchise. It may very well kill Devil May Cry for an entire generation before Capcom decides to dust it off. I don't want to be in my 50s or 60s getting excited over the return of our beloved wacky woohoo pizza man. provided I even live that long. The world seems more and more unstable every time I check outside. I'm not betting on my odds, let's just say. Like I said, none of this was surprising. Devil May Cry gets treated like the red-headed stepchild at the Capcom house, despite having a sizable and consistent fan base even after more than 2 decades since its inception. It'd be nice to get some recognition now and again. In the meantime, I'll keep praising what the Capcom games have done so well and continue ripping on the Netflix show until it returns to the slithering black recesses that is Adi Shankar's vision. Hopefully, if we keep making enough noise, these douchebags may start to listen.
I have resolved to do a much better job motivating all of you retards.
Alright, I'm tired, pissed off, and need a nap. I'ma go do that. I'll see you all in the next one. Till then.